Hello, welcome everyone. We're glad to have you here at our Maxis Health webinar, where today we'll be talking about helping kids navigate big feelings, the science behind it, and how ORI can help us navigate those situations. We've got some incredible experts here with us today. We have Dr. Mark Stein, who's the Chief Scientific Officer of Maxis Health, and we have 𝐃𝐨𝐰𝐧𝐥𝐸 Singh, who is the co-founder and chief product officer at Maxis Health. We will be recording the session and we'll share it with everyone afterwards, but let's just jump right in now and really get to the big important topics that we're here to learn about today. Dr. Stein, can you kick it off with just telling us a little bit about the science behind kids and the big emotions and early development?
Sure. Let me talk a little bit about the scientific underpinnings of emotion dysregulation. But first, I want to define what emotion dysregulation is. So that refers to the difficulty modulating emotions in intensity, duration, or expression. Okay. And this is a core feature of many childhood psychiatric disorders like ADHD, anxiety disorders, depression, but it's also just part of normal development. Typical 2-year-olds have a lot of behavioral outbursts or tantrums, but it's cause for concern if they continue, or again, if they're extremely extreme in terms of their intensity, duration, or expression. And this emotion dysregulation process corresponds to a period of rapid brain development, especially in the cerebral cortex. As children get older, these brain systems mature, and you develop more control over some of those early emotions that earlier on you might not have the language, or you may not be able to understand what's going on, but you just kind of react. So what are the, predictors of emotion dysregulation? One of the big predictors is what we call temperament, which is kind of like the child's personality. So some children just are born with a tendency to be more negative or to be more variable in terms of how they handle different situations. And there's a moderate genetic component for emotion dysregulation. So what that means is that not only is it likely to occur in a child, but it might also occur in parents or other siblings, which kind of contributes to family stress.
Yeah.
And one of the key moderators of emotion dysregulation is the environment. And when we think about the environment, we think about parenting strategies. And we know that certain parenting strategies, like harsh, inconsistent parenting, can make it worse. We also know that environmental stresses and trauma can make it worse. And we know what can make it better is parents that are supportive and that can utilize parenting strategies that kind of reduce distress and model appropriate coping to stress and trauma. So one of the characteristics of children with emotion dysregulation is that they over-rely on avoiding the situation that's causing them initial distress, or they escalate rapidly. They display these extreme reactions or meltdowns. Both of those are harmful in terms of delaying them learning how to have some success in dealing with, day-to-day environmental situations. What you hear a lot about it is my child goes from 0 to 60, but they're never in the middle. And so as children develop and as they're developing and learn new strategies, we hope that they can kind of moderate these extremes. So the clinical implications are that, again, emotion dysregulation, if it continues, is a concern, and it could be part of a number of disorders. But really, it signals a need for early intervention. And the interventions that are helpful, similar to ORI's, a focus on parent training and emotion coaching early on to give parents confidence in dealing with them. So to summarize, emotion dysregulation, it starts early, it arises from brain immaturity, It's worsened by environmental events and early environment and parenting and parents helping themselves can all help moderate the impact. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Stein. With that as sort of the context for what we're going to see today, Ziba, would you be able to share with us the ORI app, and maybe Dr. Stein can jump in and sort of connect the dots between what he was speaking about in terms of the science behind it and what we've very thoughtfully put into the app to support parents and caregivers that are helping their kids navigate through these difficult or challenging emotions.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Monique, and thank you, Dr. Stein, for explaining about emotion dysregulation. And that's the reason why we have built ORI. It's a digital partner for parents that can help them to identify, understand, and manage big feelings. It's very important for them to manage their feelings before they jump into the situation, and rather than aggravating the situation, how to calm the child. So let me just give a quick walk through the app so that it's easier for parents to navigate it. Okay.
While you're doing that, I guess one of the things I just wanted to say is that emotion dysregulation is like one of the most common reasons that parents seek help for their children. And they may not know that term, but that is often, what they're concerned about and what is contributing to lots of challenges at home and at school and in peer relationships. And what's difficult for them is how do they get guidance? How do they know what's normal and what's not, and how to respond to that? And what's exciting about ORI is that may be a partial solution to providing that type of information to parents.
And that's the main goal for Maxis Health, is to give that support to parent or caregivers in managing their and their children's big emotions and improve quality of life.
Yeah.
So let me just...
I love that the emphasis is not on the child, but on the child and the parent and their interaction. I think that's really key.
Yeah, that's true. The app that parents, you might be using it. So I just wanted to give a quick walkthrough of the app so that we better understand how we can use it to the full potential and get help from the strategies, the coping strategies that are designed for you and for your child. So in this is a dashboard, the home screen, where you will see that there are a donut shape circular with the percentages over there. So let me just give a brief intro to all these percentages. What exactly do they mean? Let me start with mental health scores. So mental health score, it's a science-backed metrics that evaluates your child mental vital. And it also focuses on nutrition, sleep, water intake. So if I have to tell in a short summary, then it's a holistic snapshot of your child's well-being, emotional well-being. Let's take an example of, and that's very commonly found when I'm in a situation and child is having struggle to go to bed. I need to use the app in the moment. So when I need to use the app in the moment, I have to go to Assist Now. So after clicking Assist Now, it is a real-time support that provides immediate voice-enabled assistance for the parents. It will ask you how upset you are, and it will ask how upset is your child is, so that it can evaluate the emotion distress at that point of time. Depending on the rating scale or how upset you are, it will pick the rate, the scale over there. So for example, let me take that 3 and 4 as an example to go through it. So when I click on Start, it will start with the first strategy, which we have earlier filled out in the initial stage of the past history, that how we were calming our child down. So if we want to use that strategy, we can click on yes. So it's saying, would you like to try holding hand strategy? So if you want that, you can use that in the moment at that time. But if you do not want that and you want to try some other strategies that are provided, you can click on no. The first and the foremost thing that every strategy when you start is to stop and breathe, because as a parent, it's very important for us to calm ourselves down before we go into the situation. And many times, we see that we forget to acknowledge their emotion, the child's emotion in that situation. We just try to either calm them down, or we yell them, or we just try to suppress that emotion. But it's very important, and I would insist, and I'm sure Dr. Stein will also back on that, that we should acknowledge child's emotion, that how they are feeling, as the first step. The next part will ask, like, what do you think is upsetting your child? So in the situation, this current situation, I think bedtime challenge will definitely help me, because my child is having struggle going to bed. And I'll click on that. When we are struggling as a parent for the bedtime, there are certain quick tips that sometimes we forget. The first thing is the bathroom. They might have to go, or a sip of water, or a snack. Make sure it's not sugary. But these are certain tips that it will remind us to ask the child before we jump into the conclusion. And before checking all those things, we wanted, if nothing is working at this point of time, or a child is all good with all these things, we want to go to the next screen, which will ask what's happening right now, to understand the current situation. We want to make sure that this app is much more personalized to the need that you need in the moment. So I have an option to select won't start routines, tailing for more things, upset, crying, scared, anxious, keep leaving the bed. These are the common situations, scenarios that as a parent we always come across. So if I go across won't start routine, that usually my daughter starts with, it's always give a kind of a quick cue to me that how should I lay out the structure and make it much more aware that what's coming next. So I need to make it shorter statement. I usually do it like, it's bedtime. You need to put your pajamas, and then we will do the story, and then you're off to bed. So it will give a child that, okay, these are the steps, these are the instructions they have to follow before they go to bed. And you can continue with the flow of it. So it always have that you can offer gentle support with one of the options. So you can select the options which works for you in that moment. Definitely, these are the situations that are commonly seen. You can change it, modify it as per to your need. If you need more help, so if these strategies are not working and the child is still persisting or not going to bed, you can select that when it asks, do you need more help? You can select yes. If the child is calm, then you can select no. And it's very important, once the child follows the instructions that you have given, you should appreciate that. You should praise that, okay, that's good that you are listening and you are following the routine now. But it's very important for us at Maxis Health that we understand and learn that how that coping strategy has worked for you. So this will always be the last screen when you finish your coping strategy. It will help us to learn whether the strategy that you have just finished has worked. Is there any improvement that we can do? So please, I request that you should all fill that screen whenever you're done with the strategy. And then I click on submit. Once I click on submit, it takes me out to the dashboard. Then I wanted to jump on the other features that we have. The other is the recovery. So recovery is, if I have to define the recovery score to summarize it, it is at how much time a child has taken to combat that distress condition. So supposedly a child starts to have a meltdown at 7:45. He might be back to the normal state at 7:50, 7:55, depending on what strategy you are following and how much time he's taking to come back. So the recovery time is 5 or 10 minutes. So this is per event. So you will see that in a day, there might be 5 events that might have occurred. So every event will have its own percentage, and it has their start and end time, so that it gives you a kind of an idea, visual aspect of it, that which triggers or which situations a child has taken longer time. So it will remind you on the strategies that you can follow along for those particular situations. The next feature is the resilience. Resilience score reflects the child's longitudinal ability to manage stress and regulate emotion. It's very important to see that whether our child is becoming more resilient by using the strategies that they have been using it, how faster they are able to combat. So it's not just per event, it's like you are taking the average for all the events in a day that have occurred. So it's very important for you as well to understand and learn that whether your child has become resilient over the period of time. The next one is the recharge. Recharge is also a science-backed metrics. Recently, a lot of studies have been going that there is a gut and brain connection. And we wanted to make sure that we cover the holistic view of child's life. So having a lifestyle, good lifestyle, definitely impact on your behaviors. It helps you to understand how what kind of diet, nutrition a child is having, how much water intake. Water definitely plays a very important role in there. Sleep. Sleep is one of the important factor as well, to make sure that how ready you are for the next day. If a child doesn't have a good night's sleep, I'm sure the behaviors will get impacted for the next day. You can add the breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack by just clicking on breakfast. And then when you select on breakfast, you can add breakfast depending on what meal of the day you are adding it, and you can search. So you will see all different options that pops up. So it's depending on wheat bread, flax bread. So there are various options that you can select depending on what need you have or what the child is eating at that point of time. It will give you the calories, the fat, carbohydrates, and proteins as well. And then you can click on add. It's very simple process. And in case you miss on adding any of the meal, you can use the calendar option to go back and add that. You can change water intake per day or per time. Whenever a child drinks water, you can just add that as well. And this module definitely helps to keep track of their nutrition and also visually help you to understand whether the nutrition or the diet is impacting the behavior or not. So these were few crucial features that were embedded on the main screen. Now, the second important thing as a parent, we always struggle to find similar support. So we have created this community forum, which will not just help parent to feel a little bit motivated and not feel alone at the time, because there will be a lot of parents who are in the similar situation. You can ask questions in the moment. You can seek help, but just to make it a little bit more clearer that there is no healthcare provider who is monitoring that. It's by parent for parent community forum. So you can ask questions. If somebody has been in the same situation, can respond to you. You can respond to other parent, or you can respond to other question as well. So just go in and then you can type in your questions, and then you can see all the users who might have responded to you. Then I just wanted, because that was assist now was in the moment, but there might be times when you are just sitting and wanted to learn more, that how you can try to use different strategies. So we have embedded emotional toolkit and co-regulation toolkit, which have different lessons that you can go. So there is a video. We have kept video, audio, and reading aspect of it, whichever parent feel comfortable and can do it in the moment, they can do it. So there's a video from Dr. Erin, who has designed this entire app for us. And then when you click on that, you will get to this screen where you can follow along with the lessons. So there is a lesson for emotion coaching. There's a lesson for soothing module. Like there's different modules that you can go through at your own pace. And same thing is for co-regulation toolkit as well, where we have a video and the similar format of question of the lessons. Co-regulating problem solving. So these things can go at their own pace. You can go through it. You can learn the strategies that she has provided. So it's a very important resource that you can go at your own pace. We definitely love to hear from you. You can reach out to us to contact us. You can type in your email, your name, and if you have any questions, we would love to have all those questions answered, because we wanted to make sure that we are able to improvise this app for your best need. So that's pretty much it, a kind of an overview of the app. If you have any more questions, feel free to reach out to us, and we would definitely be able to do 101 demo session for you, walk you through the app.
That's great. Thank you, Ziva. We do have a couple of questions here, you and Dr. Stein. How can parents balance giving kids space to feel their emotions without reinforcing the negative behavior? I guess, Dr. Stein, that would be for you.
Well, it's always a balancing act, and I think the key really is how you help your child learn to structure their day. The time to express emotions isn't when it's bedtime or when you're supposed to be doing homework or something else. So I think giving them clear cues and providing, that's okay to express your emotions and help them label them. But you also don't want to encourage either avoidance or reinforcing negative behaviors. So it's great that question, because it means the parent is really aware of that, of how important that is.
Thank you. Ziva, for when you went through the recharge aspect of ORI, is that for tracking just for kids? Can parents track as well? Is it both, or just for children?
It's a great question. For right now, it's just for the child, because we wanted to make sure that we are tracking all their diet and lifestyle. But at the same time, down the lane, we are planning to have it for the parent as well, because same thing, we wanted to make sure that we are eating healthy, and so that we are also emotionally resilient at the same time. But right now it's just for the child that we are met. Yeah.
So the future, though, is for both child and parent. And just like we want children to have adequate nutrition and good sleep, we also want their parents to do that and to model that.
Makes sense. total sense, right? 𝐃𝐨𝐰𝐧𝐥𝐸, could you talk a little bit about future plans for the app? Like, are you going to support kids beyond the age of 4 to 7, or what are the additions and enhancements in the app and the sort of product vision?
Yeah, so right now, the main motto of this app is to train the parents how to manage the situations. Parent can be of 11-year-old struggling managing their own emotions and then aggravating the situation, or parent can be of younger age. Newly parents usually struggle how to deal the situations. The strategies that are built or designed right now is for younger kids and 4 to 7. We are working as well on that aspect when we build the strategies that are more focused on adolescent age kids, because that's where a lot of struggle parents have seen for managing their as well as their child's emotion. If I have to talk from the app perspective, we will be working at the older age, building older age kids, building the strategies that can help them to manage by themselves. At that point of time, I'm sure they won't like parent to intervening them. I think those strategies will be more focused on the child or the teenager, how they can use that and calm themselves down in the situation or manage their emotions in this situation, especially big feelings.
Sure.
So we'll eventually get to those other age groups, but I think it's important that the primary emphasis is this young group, because this is when children really learn to establish control over their emotions, and it's more malleable. So we're going to start with this age group and then iron out things before looking at those other challenges.
Yeah, makes sense. Wonderful. Thank you both very much today. Really appreciate your time. We want to thank everyone for joining us for this brief webinar. As Ziva said, there's all kinds of great things in the ORI app, but what makes it special and what's going to help us to improve it is feedback from parents and caregivers. So we encourage everyone to jump in the app, use it, let us know what you're thinking about, give us any kind of ideas that you might have, and that'll help us to improve the experience for everyone. So we thank everyone for joining us, and we hope to see you in the ORI community.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Minnie. Thanks, Dr. Stein.